So since we have not write about the LCD, just write about the LCD. Don't write this figure 2.28. And we complete the LED and the multimedia projector part. Then we'll move to the computer assembling part, right?
Excuse me, sir. Sir?
Yes, Rizwan.
Sir, actually, sir, I joined a little bit before, then suddenly our power went, and I came now, I rejoined. Did you discuss anything?
No. Like we didn't discuss anything, Rizwan. We were just writing about the LCD and going to continue to LED. So just copy the highlighted part on the screen. Don't write this figure 2.28 in your note. Other than that, just write it down.
Okay.
Okay, one is done. How about others? Okay. Anyone who is still writing this? All right, so we are moving forward. Light emitting diodes, the third type of the monitors. Only these things. Okay, one is done. How about others? Okay, anyone who is still writing? Okay, so we are moving forward. Multimedia projectors, it's not a kind of monitors that we are talking here. It is another one way of doing the visual displays, right? Yes. Do we really need to write about the multimedia projector? Anyway, like just write about this. That's all. That's enough. So what I'm going to use is this particular simulation game for you to show you how the computer, or like how we can fix the hardwares into a computer. So I'll start it. It will take a little time to execute. So have patience. Yeah, are we done? Everyone? Okay. So if there is anyone still writing, just indicate. Otherwise, we can go and fix our computer. Let's see how that is been done, right? Yeah, so main topic is hard copy, the next topic. So the under that, printers, the subheading, and the diagram. Yeah, Raison, I'll merge that and give you as a one particular video. Anyway, this is a separate recording, but I will merge it and give it to you. Yeah, Reason, we can use, there are several different softwares which eventually you have to use a video editing software. So like if we are going to learn a one in grade 11, Windows Movie Maker, some simple software. And like there are many softwares like Windows Video Editor is there. Like Filmora video editing is there. Like there are many. Okay, one is done. How about others? All right. Anyone who is still writing? Okay, moving forward. Um, yeah, we really don't need to write about the impact printers. Hold on. Let me check whether anything important regarding this. Yeah. Yes, we really don't need to write about the impact printers, people, so we know what it is. Anyway, I think better to have some definition regarding that, right? So let's have this. And plus this. Right, so once you're done with the first part, then this can be written as the next sentence. The ink ribbon used is not expensive.
Sir,
Yes, Buddha.
sir, I had a connection issue. What should we write, sir?
Yes, Buddha, this particular part that you can see on the screen regarding impact printers, after the diagram, we had the heading impact printers, and we write about these two.
Okay, sir. I will write.
Okay. Okay. Is there anyone who is still writing? All right. So we don't need to write about the dot matrix and line printers. It is there in your diagram. And the non-impact printers, yeah, let's generally write about the non-impact printers. Yeah, write about this. And we are not going to talk about the examples in detail. So examples are there in your diagram. So we are just clarifying what is impact printers and non-impact printers, right? Yes, Varsha, after the impact printers, we are writing about the non-impact printers too. So what you can see on the screen, that is what you need to copy down. Okay, one is done. How about others?
Finish, sir.
Okay, so anyone who is still writing? Okay, so regarding the non-impact printers, it is laser printers and the bubble jet, inkjet, and thermal, and the plotter. Yeah, in our in this diagram paper, we don't have the plotter. Can you please kindly add that one as well into the diagram? Laser printer is there, bubble jet and the inkjet is there. Thermal printer is there. So at the next, as the next one, the plotter, right? Right, and as the very last one, we can say sounds. Right, so you can, yeah. No, I'll tell you what to be written paper. This is not good that they are the way they have explained it. Right, so you can write it like this. Follow me and write, and there are many devices. There are many devices which produce a sound output, which produce a sound output, which produced a sound output such as speakers, headphones, headsets, SETS, headsets, etc. Okay, so let's go and fix the computer, right? So, okay, so last time we had a problem, some sound issues as well as some power issues. So here we are again. So I have reduced the noise. So I think it is much easier for you. So this type of games are called simulation games, right? So we can build it, we can use it to play a game as well, right? And I'm going to do this free build. So here I can show you the most common things that we are going to do. Yeah, I don't remember whether it is the free build or how to build a PC. So I'm going to the how to build a PC. Yeah, it is the how to build a PC thing. So, all right. So here we go. I have given the desk. Right. So he's asking me to, yeah, this is the, so I got a monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, and nothing is being connected to the computer yet. Right, and power cable is there. And what you are having here is an empty case. This is called the casing, right? So we are going to fix a desktop. So this is a casing and it has no component inside it. So first of all, we have to open it from one side. And here they are going to open it in both the sides. Right, so yeah, let's see what's going on. People, can you see this clearly? Can you see what I can see here? Yeah, great. Okay, here we go. So I'm removing the side panel. So yeah, so I remove the side panel, which is the front panel, as well as I have to remove the other side panel as well, which is this one. Yeah, so I have yeah, I have taken it out. Now they are saying it's better I fix the power supply unit. So power supply unit is the one which gives the power, like from the from the main power supply of our home. We are going to fix that power cable to the power supply, which is going to fix into this particular space in this casing. Sometimes you can find the power supply unit at the top of your the casing, right? It depends, right? So first of all, I have to remove the case, which is allowing me to put inside the power supply. So I need to take out the knobs. So I'm taking out the knobs. Okay. I'm going to check my power supply. It is in the store. Yeah, so these are the things that they have given to me. So they got this is what you call the power supply. If you can just turn up desktop and see in the back panel, you will be see an interface, something like this, right? Sometimes you can see a fan on this particular place as well. Anyway, like the power connector or the power socket is like this, right? And inside it, you can find a fan, right? And these ports, like in modern supply units, these ports are there to be fixed by the wire harness. And in most of the power supplies that we can purchase from our market, it is already, the power harness is already fixed into this power supply, right? Wires loku harness එකක් ලොකු wire set එකක් මෙයාගේ මේ අනිත් end එකෙන් fix වෙලා එනවා. Now here it is given the chance to connect the wire harness once it is being connected to the computer, right? And let me go through the other components as well. They have a RAM over here, the random access memory, which we call the main memory of our computer, right? So at the other side, they have memory chips. I think Senilka is having some connecting issues. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, so, and at the bottom, there are some copper completed points, which is called the connector, right? It is the one which is going to connect with the motherboard. So there are memory chips. So like you can't see the memory chips because it is covered by the casing around it. And locks. Now locks are there to be fixed into the motherboards. And this is a hard disk. Actually, this is kind of a SATA type of hard disk, right? So there are two types of connectors. One is to connect the power. This is the power connector. And this is to connect the data cables. So because the hard disk needs power to operate, as well as it needs a data connection to travel the data into it and from it. Oh, and this is a kind of a fan which we use to act as a cooling fan on the CPU. We need a cooling fan on the CPU. Otherwise, our CPU is going to get heated and it's going to get burned. And we use that kind of a one. And this is the processor, which we are going to fix on the motherboard. So there is a specific place for this processor. And the ports that it is having, like it has tiny holes. Sometimes a CPU is going to have pins on it. Like when this CPU is having holes, it is called the female ports that they've got. If they're having pins, it's called the male ports that they are having. All right. And yeah, other than that, you have a motherboard, which is something a little bit complex, not that complex. Now here you can see these I/O ports. These are the parts which you can see at the back side of your desktop or the back side of your system unit. And this motherboard is going to fix onto a wall, which we have removed already. And this is the CPU socket, right? So we can lift the CPU socket and place the CPU inside it. And there is some other components, some other chips, some other ICs, which we call the chipset. And this is the CMOS battery, right? So the CMOS battery is there to power up the CMOS. Yeah, Rizwan, this is kind of a 3D simulator, right? And here some ports to connect the data line which is coming from the hard disk, which we call HDD SATA ports, right? port එකේ තරම්ම පැහැදිලි නැහැ, right? And it has another front panel header port, right? And these are the RAM slots where we are going to place the RAMs right over here. There are 4 slots over here, like this. Yeah, like this. There are 4 slots, as well as the power connector. This is the main power supply connector. So the wires from the power supply will be coming and fix it over here. Yeah, and people, now actually this particular fan is not the cooling fan for the motherboard, for the CPU. This is the cooling fan for the CPU, right? So it has a heat sink, and it has a fan at the top of it, and the cooler plate is there, right? So these kind of things will be fixed upon the CPU. And here we got another thing, which is called the graphic card, right? So graphic card has the here it has a DVI port, an HDMI port, as well as VGA port. All 3 VGA ports are there, and it has a graphic processor. This side it has the fan, and from this it's going to be connected to the motherboard. There are ports called PCI slots, so where we are going to connect it. And there are graphical processing unit, right? So this particular chip is the graphic processing unit, as well as there are some processors over here as well. So these are the components. Now, first we are here to connect the power supply, right? So I select the power supply, and I'm going to install it. Yeah, Sanushi, let me do it again. Yeah, Sanushi, the problem is I'm going to show that to you when I'm visiting to my shop again, because we are given the chance to visit the shop when we required the one. So now I have taken the power supply. So I have to install the power supply over here. So there you go. I fixed the power supply. Now you can see my power supply is fixed into the computer, right? So the connectors are there at this side. From those connectors, I can fix the things which I'm going to connect the other devices to right over here. So I have to fix the nails. So there you go. And handling the nails now. Okay, so then they are asking me to install the motherboard. So I'm going to install the motherboard to that red wall, right? Because the opening for those ports happens over here. මෙතන පිටිපස්සේ opening එක තියෙන්නේ මෙතන නිසා I need to fix the motherboard to the this particular wall. So here I'm going, yeah. So Sanushi, this is the graphic card. This is the motherboard. This is the RAM, random access memory, or we say it's the physical memory. This is a regular fan. This is the CPU fan. This is the hard disk, a primary storage device. Primary storage means like a permanent storage device. And this is CPU, central processing unit, or in simple terms, processor. So they're asking me to connect the motherboard. So I select the motherboard and install it. So here I'm installing the motherboard. So yeah, first I have to take these nuts away, because there are some nuts on the on this wall. Yeah, now I have fixed the motherboard. So on the motherboard there will be some holes, and I can fix my nails through those. So my motherboard is fixed to my wall. Right. So my power supply is connect, my motherboard is connect, and now they are saying of connecting some. First thing I have to do is take a power cord and connect it with the motherboard, so motherboard can have the power, right? Which is going to happen to this particular port. This is to connect the front panel ports, like at the top you can see there are USB ports, power button, and all these things. Those should be powered up by this connector. And over here it's the CPU power, which we are going to connect with the processor. And now you can see the power port, the ports are connected, and you can see the ports at the back panel. Right, some sound ports, USB ports, some RJ45 ports are here. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these things now. So this is connect motherboard, front panel connects to the case, front panel, on off buttons, USB, audio, and yeah, things. Right, so here it shows you the place that I'm going to connect this connector. So yeah, can you see a wire went through this now? This is a wire. So it connects from here to here through this opening. I'll show you it from the other side. See, from here, it moves at the top of this casing. Now the front panel can have the power. So to have the power for the front panel, first we have to provide the power to the motherboard. So this is the place where we are going to take the power to the motherboard, that is directly from the power supply over here, and taking the wire harness to over here, right over here. Now with that very big wire harness, our motherboard is powered up. From that power, it can give you can provide some power to the front panel. Now here to this, we are going to have a connection from the power supply. So it says now it is okay. So this is for the CPU. All right, so that wire harness comes over here. Okay, so we fix the power supply unit. We fix the motherboard now. And now we are going to place the CPU over here. So let's take the CPU, taking the CPU, the processor, and installing it. So first I have to open the cover. So here I have opened the cover, and I'm going to place the processor. Then I have to close the cover correctly. Right, then, yeah, they use something called thermal paste. So thermal paste will help you to place the fan on the CPU, and thermal paste also absorbing the heat very quickly and send it to the fan side. So here I'm applying a thermal paste. Now it's not this kind of a small dot. We generally spread it all over the CPU. And now I'm going to take the CPU fan. Right, I'm going to install it. I'm going to install it at the top of the CPU. Right, so there you go. And I have to rotate this because like there are some knobs over here, right, which is going to fix onto the proper place. So now it is been fixed, and now I have to push the knobs so it is complete. So now they are asking me to fix the graphic card. Right, so now you can see here the fan is fixed. So now the CPU is at the bottom of this, right? So I'm going and taking the graphic card, installing it. So now when I'm fixing the graphic card had those 3 ports: HDMI port, the DVI port, as well as the VGA port. Those should be presented like these particular ports. So for that, we got some openings over here. There are several openings. So they are suggesting me to open this particular open. So first of all, I'm taking that part out so I can find a particular space over here where I can fix it. So I turn it, and I'm going to fix the VGA. So you can see here, I got VGA ports. So I can connect my monitor and all these things from here. And I'm fixing my knob. Okay, then they are asking me to connect the RAM. So RAM can be connected to the RAM slots. I'll take the RAM. So I'm installing it. So first of all, I have to open the memory knobs, memory clips. So I'm opening the memory clips. Then I can install. I install one RAM and the second RAM. So now you can see RAM is installed. Right. Now they are asking me to connect the hard disk. We need a hard disk to store the data and the programs. So hard disks are going on this particular panel. So first I have to open this tray. Now it's not always open in a tray and place in the hard disk. Sometimes we have to place the hard disk and into a drawer kind of a thing. Then we have to fix it from the nails. Not always like this, but here it has a particular drawer. So now here I'm placing the hard disk and I'm going to close the drawer. Now I have to connect the power port with the power supply as well. So I select the port and I'm selecting the port, the power port on the power supply. Can you see that? So here I go. There you go. And from here, it's going to connect with this. Now that is the way the power has given. Now power is not only power is that the hard disk need, it needs data as well, because otherwise it is not connected with the motherboard. Whatever the things are providing through the CPU will not be able to reach the hard disk. So I click on this connector and my thing is okay. So now additional cooling, it is kind of an obvious thing. So I'm going to install this right over here. So I'm right, so I'm going to fix all the nails. And this particular PC, the fan need a small current, so I can take it from the motherboard. So that particular wires are going from the motherboard. Now we are going to close the panel. Now the inside is finished. We installed a RAM, that is the main memory, that is must. We install a CPU, it is a must again. We insert the cooling fan and the motherboard. What else? And we have given the additional cooling fan as well, right? So we are done. Now we are going to close. So first, let's close this side. So it is closed. And then we are going to close this side. Right now, it is asking me to turn on my PC. Okay, people, are you clear with the assembling part? We did this. Right. So now to start this, it's not only the system unit that I need that need to be connected with several different devices. And I'm going to connect the power to my power supply right over here. So there you go. I'm going to connect the mouse to the one particular USB. And this is to somewhere over here. Right, I'm sorry, this particular part is not the keyboard, people. This was the VGA cable, which is taken from the monitor, which connects with the graphic card. Now here we got the keyboard VGA. So let's connect it to another CPU interface. So it is. And finally, Now we are all done, and they are asking me to press the power button. Right, so now I'm going to press the start button or the power button. So here it is getting started. Right, so that's what we call assembling a PC, right? So there are many different kinds of simulators, even in the internet. So you can try it. So I'm going to exit from the game. For me, of course, for this game, I have to pay and purchase this game from these people, but it's worth to purchase it. It was not that much cost. It's kind of $12 or $13. So I did the purchasing because I need to show this to you. Okay, people, is that clear? Like, even though you are not doing this physically, we had some virtual thing around how a PC is going to get connected. Right, great, great. Now, if you have the screw drive at your home, you can slowly take out the nails of the one side panel. It's better you go to the side panel which does not have the motherboard fixed on. Motherboard එක තිබ්බ wall එක නෙමෙයි අනිත් එකේ අනිත් wall එක ගලවනවා. ඔයගලන්ට ඔය ඇතුලේ අපි කරපු basic දේවල් ටික ඔයගලන්ගේ computer එකෙත් බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Okay, so the next topic is central processing unit. Now, we saw this, right? The processor. But inside that processor, there are three parts. We talked about these three parts when we are talking about that how a computer system works, right? ALU, control unit, and memory register. And we get to know about this from this particular diagram we were discussing, right? And we learn that the registers are there to remember the instruction one by one. And ALU is there to process, which is given by the registers, and control unit is there to send the control signals to each and every part, right? So the same content goes over here. So we can just write about the central processing unit, nothing new to talk about. So have the heading central processing unit. And here you can write these things. Yes, Sanushi, you can write these things down, Dua, since we have discussed about this earlier. Yes, Rison, you should copy the table. It's better you copy it as a table. Yeah, when you are done with this, you people can exit the session. So we are going to end the session from here. So by next week, we are going to continue about the computer speed and other factors regarding this. Right, so since I'm having another class to attend, I'm going to end the session from here. I will be here until you guys are copying the things into your books, right? So if you're done, you can leave. Okay, Rison, thank you very much. Right, thank you very much, everyone. Goodbye and good night.
Goodbye, sir. God bless you, sir.
Right, okay. Thank you, Dua. Thank you very much.